My husband and I have had some real financial crisis in our lives. We've been married 35 years, and there have been times when there was no money coming in, and we had to depend on the blessing, the kindness of family and our church. But I started thinking about tithing one day and the whole 10% thing. And so my husband and I went home, and we were sitting over the table and started to talk about, well, we don't tithe, and what does that mean, and how do you get to that point? What do you do with that? And so we got our statement from the end of the year and how much we gave to the church, calculated what percentage that was. So maybe we are tithing and didn't even know. And when we realized the percentage, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remembered it was very small. And we were like, a little embarrassed. This is nowhere near tithing. So it wasn't about a dollar amount. If you're putting $20 in a plate on a Sunday, that feels pretty generous. But when you add that up over a year and look at your income, it's nowhere near tithing. So what we did was we picked a percentage because we didn't feel comfortable just jumping into 10% right off the bat. And besides, what 10% of what? Before tax, after tax, before your mortgage? What 10% of what? So we thought, well, let's just start with after-tax dollars and do a percentage. And then every year, as long as one of us hasn't lost a job, but every year, just keep bumping that up till we get to where we tithe. It's a journey. Most of us don't jump into anything right away. You have to wade into and develop a relationship with people, with your faith and with your tithing. So it's a process. Start someplace, know what you're giving, and then work towards your goal, whatever that is that you feel in your heart it should be. And I feel in my heart it should be to tithing. I feel that's what we're called to do. But God is kind enough to let me do this as a process. When I consider the tithing, it's just what I put in on a Sunday. I don't count the commitment that we made towards the building project, toward the debt reduction. That's separate. I don't count when I write money out to the blanket fund or to the ELCA hunger fund, or I don't count those. It's what I put in on a Sunday, because if you're only paying your share of a budget that covers your church's utilities and rent and your pastor's salary, you're not giving anything. You're paying for a service. You're paying to have a place to have your children baptized and your weddings performed, and to sit and sing your hymns in a comfortable, warm, or cool room seasonally, and to have somebody pastor to call on when you need him. Tithing, giving more to support ministries in your community and in the world is when you really are giving. There's times when I even though we both have good jobs and are not in financial crisis, there are still times when I find myself anxious. Am I going to be able to pay for the fuel bill this winter? What does it mean with the cost of gas going up the way it is, and our daughter getting ready for college, and we still are helping our son through his recovery process, and will I have enough money? And what if my husband is a music teacher? What if they decide to do away with the music department in his school? And it's easy to get anxious and stay awake with what my mom used to call the nighttime what if monster. What gets me through that is a line from one of my favorite hymns, Praise to the Lord the Almighty. The phrase is, "Have you not seen all that is needful has been sent by his gracious ordaining?" And I remind myself I have never, unlike so many people in the world, not had food on the table, not had a roof over my head. I've never had to see my children go hungry. I've never had to worry about where are we going to sleep tonight if the weather's cold. And so it might not always be what I want. I have a small home, but everything that I need has been sent by his gracious ordaining.